Hey everybody, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. So, bit of a story here. I didn't have a videographer last weekend because she was up in New York at a girls' weekend. And I had some people, this is Tuesday. So last Saturday, while she was out of town, I had some people coming over to the house at 7 o'clock to pick up a couple of my boxes of swarms. And I went out about 4 o'clock to put a couple of I'm trying to think of
Supers?
no I wanted to empty the supers of bees, so I put the slat on there that they can go through and can't come back out. I wanted to reduce the number of bees that were in the supers. I wanted to get them down into the main hive, and I puttered around a little bit, and at exactly 6 o'clock I was walking out of the bee yard to go in the house, and I walked right into a swarm of bees because I think it's swarm number 8. We'll check the show notes if I have to correct myself and it's swarm 7, but I think it's swarm number 8 for this year for that bucket. Was coming across from that way over here, and it was a big swarm, big primary swarm. And it was still coming. It wasn't moved in yet. You could not see the side of the bucket. It was a big swarm. So I grabbed some boxes and pieces, put everything together, lowered it down, dumped them all in, got them all sorted and set up, and by 6:45 they were a done deal. They were a wrap. They just had to let the rest of their foragers come in, and so I could move them after dark. Then folks came over, we moved their hives into their truck, sent them on their way. Okay, so that's last Saturday. So this morning I'm back in the bee yard,
And it's July 17th today?
17th was yesterday.
July,
so July
18th.
18th.
Okay.
So it's July 18th. This morning I was in the bee yard doing some gardening work and feeding the bees and some other things. And I came back up front here to do some more gardening. I was gardening, and one of the things I did, by the way, was to put the bucket back up. I always leave the bucket down for a few days after a swarm has been taken out of it because I don't want to tempt anybody to come back. So one of the things I did this morning was put that bucket back up where it belongs. And I was doing some gardening, and it was about noon. It was just about to rain, and I'm coming out, and it's like, oh, okay, there's some heavy scout activity on this bucket, but it's already starting to sprinkle. So I figure, all right, it'll stop after the afternoon rain. I'll come out, we'll get it taken, sorted out, and taken care of. You know, hopefully I'll be able to do exactly the same thing, just dump them straight in and not have to worry about cutouts or anything like that. And I went in, had some lunch, and I took a nap because I'd been up till 2 in the morning retrieving my wife last night, or this morning I should say, from the airport. And Queen Lulu is going to be walked at 7:15 no matter what. She doesn't want to hear any excuses.
That
So
would be the dog.
That would be the dog, yes. You're not Queen Lulu. I don't take you for a walk. So at any rate, it's like, you know what, I could use a nap, and it's going to rain for the next 2 hours. Never rained. So I come back out here after I get up, and that's like, okay, that doesn't look like scout activity anymore. Nope, there are drones flying in. So the swarm has moved in. It's got to be a little tiny swarm from the look of it. So we're gonna go in and take a look, and we're gonna see what we got. I just sorted out, set up a box, same way I always set it up. You got your bottom board, you got your slatted rack, queen excluder, and here's the box. This is just a funnel, you know, to funnel the bees into. And once they're sorted in there, I'll just put the box up there so that the rest of the bees overnight can, they'll just move in, and I'll come in after dark, and I'll replace this plug at that point. I'll have it out of there for that time, and I'll move them over there. And this works out really well because that last little tiny swarm that was in there that I said would never have a chance of surviving on its own, well, it didn't. It had a queen. It made a few spots of brood about this big around, and that was the end of that. When I inspected it the other day, there's no eggs, there's no open larvae, there's maybe 200 capped brood in there. She was a dud. And I was just getting ready to decide who to merge her with, and probably I'll just merge these two together and we'll see where we go from there. But let's find out what we got up here now.
And thank you for using the step ladder this time.
Yes. Well, I make mistakes, dear, but I try to learn from them. Also used a much lighter box this time. Look in the box, it's a bucket. Alrighty. Let's see where we're at. I don't know if you want to move in and get a quick look at that or not.
We got a little finger of comb.
Yeah, looks familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think I need that for that. Here you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa. I think I just saw the queen on the edge.
Well,
Might be wrong.
well, like I said, I saw some drones flying in.
Well, I saw one very large, very light colored abdomen
Okay.
just
I
as
see
you were
drone.
tilting that bucket. But it might have just been a
I do
different
see a
color.
drone right here. So,
Yep.
regardless, we're going to go. So,
Hang on, let me back up.
it is so much easier when you can just find them. Start.
So,
It's not a giant swarm, but it's sizable.
if you have a queen excluder in there, isn't that going to keep the drones from flying in and out?
Yeah, who
That's
cares?
not going to stay on for long, right?
They don't need their drones. They're just no good. They're just going to stay on for about 2 days, maybe 3.
Okay.
And I really don't care. Drones are fairly long-lived, and they'll keep feeding them, so they won't die in a couple of days. I just really don't care.
They're all moving back over to the top there.
Well, oh, you mean that? Yeah. Well,
Yes.
That's always going to happen. Let me get this. I forgot to grab a pen. This way I sweep down what's in my funnel, as it were. We put everything together. And I just set the box back up there so that all those other bees will hopefully go in there. Not that you have to be all that careful when you're doing this to a swarm, because every bee here flies. Every bee here, figured out how to get up there before, so they'll all figure out how to get up there again. Not a big problem. All right, since I didn't need that, let me go get them another frame. And I'm not going to bother to go putting any frames of drawn comb in here because, like I said, I'll be merging them with that other one.
And swarms are little comb
They're little
factories
comb makers.
anyway, yes.
But the main takeaway on this one is I'm going to be giving them a second box with 5 frames of comb on it.
From the other.
From the other one.
Right.
We'll make this into a double real quick.
Cover's right there, honey.
All right.
So 2 more swarms
Two
in
more
less than a
swarms.
week at the end of July, mid-July. This is ridiculous.
When you consider that I had drones in the hives on January 1st, it has been more than ridiculous.
It's a weird year.
Yeah, and the thing is, a few of these last swarms have been large because some new beekeeper somewhere wasn't watching and they've had some swarms and they thankfully came over here. I have got colonies over there that have built up to, you know, a full box, a brood box and 2 supers, and there's no propolis. Now those are carefully selected queens in there, you know,
yes.
because my mutts make propolis like crazy.
Are you going to be okay putting that back?
I have no option but to be okay putting that back.
You do have an option, but I could help you. Or I could just film you falling again, whichever is more entertaining.
You could. Hey, it makes good video. What the heck? Ladies,
Sorry.
this thing's got a rich roof. I want to push it and it doesn't want to go.
Honey, the door's still closed.
Oh, that's right. Well, for the moment, in fact, I'll just take that out from one side.
Yeah, so they can start going in. And I want to see if that's what they do.
And done and done.
I'm just going to zoom in on the phone. I don't think I want to get that much closer considering
Yeah.
I'm only wearing a veil, but usually swarms are pretty gentle.
Oh, these certainly are. Look up in there. But regardless of what they may want to do on their own, the queen's pretty much guaranteed to be inside there, and she can't come out. So.
Oh yeah, she's totally in there because they are just marching right in. If you look at the front of the box there.
Yeah.
I can see them on the purple part, especially just marching right down.
I mean, it may look chaotic at the moment, but 5 minutes from now, it'll all be peace and quiet.
More or less.
Oh yeah, watch them marching down.
Yep. And they'll come.
Okay, she wasn't up here, so we'll go down that way. And every other bee is sticking their butt up in the air to fan.
Yep. So we'll come back in 5 minutes or 10 minutes and we'll see what it looks like.
All right. Okay, well, it's not even 5 minutes later, and as you can see, everybody has sorted themselves out and settled down. So we undoubtedly have a queen in there, and everybody is paying attention to that fact. So after dark tonight, I will come out here. I'll close that up, take it over there. I'll put a feeder shim on it so they have some water, and I'll leave them there first thing in the morning, and then later on we'll see about merging the 2 of them. Now follow me over to the bee yard for a minute. Okay, so just a quick visit to the bee yard. So this is the very large swarm that I moved out last Saturday night. They're quite happy, quite content, doing their thing. This is the failed swarm, the little baby tiny swarm that just isn't going to accomplish anything on its own. And I'm going to show you one other thing real quick. I'm going to put that there because it might choke you out. So, giving away those swarms the other day, all I give away is the brood box. Any supers stay with me, but supers aren't always ready to do anything, so I merged them. Bees in them because there were just so many bees. Okay, so, see any newspaper in there?
No, but you're letting them all out.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
I only have 2 hands, dear. So let's get out of here before that pheromone
Be
starts
careful.
getting everybody riled
Run
up.
away! Run away! Oh dear.
That wasn't well thought out.
No. Say goodbye.
Bye.
No, do your wrap up. I have a bee in my hair, please.
All right, well, this has been Rich. South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Like and subscribe.